And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today I'm taking a look at a small card game from Japan from an amateur designer, and this game is called Grim Reaper Sect. It is a game in which you are helping death claim souls of victims, and they will either be assigned to angels or devils, but you want the ultimate. I don't really know what the theme is. Essentially, it's a card game, but it's one with a cool twist. Let me show you. At the beginning of the game, you're going to put two cards in the middle of the table. One says Devil, one says Angel, and you're going to put a bunch of pile of cards here based on the number of players. These cards are soul cards, and there are plant cards, like this one here. There are animal cards, like this burning rabbit, and there are inanimate object cards, like this burning pistol or this burning fire hydrant. I'm not really sure why the Devil and Angel would be fighting over the soul of a fire hydrant, but so be it. To win the game, you need to either get one of each, or get three of the same, or just get 5 total. Okay? So each round of the game, players are going to be fighting over one, so you'll draw one and put it face up. Now, the card has a few numbers on it. These numbers at the top will determine points in case of a tie. That's not as big of a deal. These numbers here show how many cards can be played on each side. So a 10 means you can play 10 cards on this side, 10 cards on this side. And it says Devil at the bottom here. That means in case there's a tie, the Devil side wins. Players themselves are going to get a deck of cards of their colors. This is the blue deck, and there's also a yellow deck, a red deck, and a green deck. And what players are going to do is they're going to have a handful of cards from this deck. Now the cards go from 0 to 13, although not every number is concluded. I think it's 13, 11, 7, 5, 3, 2, 1, and 0. The 0 cards that are in a deck can only be played on one side. So this is a 0 Devil card, and here's another 0 Devil card, and here's a 0 Angel card that plays on the Angel side. The other cards are neutral and can be played on either side. So players will have a handful of 5 cards, and on your turn, each player in turn order, starting with whoever has a start player card, will play a card to one of the two sides. Okay? So let's say green plays over here, yellow plays over here. Then each player can play again. However, at this point, they don't have to. You have to play at least one card, but you can play multiple cards. So let's say blue plays here, red plays over here, and yellow passes, and then green comes around and plays one here, and blue plays another one over here. Everyone finally passes. Now, because there's 10, there could have been up to 10 cards on each side, but there's only 4 cards on each side. So we then flip all the cards over, and we add the totals on them. So here we have 3 plus 2 plus 7, that's 12. Over here we have 13 plus 11 plus 5 plus 1. Obviously we see which side is 1 here. The Devil side has 1. Now, this side is 1, and then whoever plays the lowest card on that side, which in this case is red, wins the card in the middle. If 2 people play the lowest cards, because as you can see, 0 cards can be very powerful in this regard. If 2 people play the lowest card, they're both canceled, and we go to the second lowest. And if 2 people play that, well, then no one's getting it, because there's only 4 players in the game. So you don't want to be tied for the lowest number. You want to have the lowest untied number, and then you win the card. All these cards are discarded. The game will continue. As I said, the game goes until one person wins by getting those, but the game can also end if people run out of cards. If you use a lot of cards from your deck, you might have to sit there for a couple rounds because multiple people have to run out before the game ends. So you have to be kind of judicious on how many cards you use each round. 5 is the most cards you can put out because you'll draw back up to 5 after a round is over, but still. Now, because of my Christian beliefs, I've never been a big fan of the Devil collecting souls or helping him do that in a game. But in this essence, I'm not opposed to collecting the soul of a fire hydrant or a dog or a ugly bird or a fern. It just seems kind of ridiculous, especially the fire hydrant. The theme of this game is silly. I mean, you could put any theme on this game. It's all about the card play. And I don't mind to paste it on theme when it's a very small game like this one, and I find it very interesting. You can play a lot of cards on one side to make sure that side wins, but it doesn't mean anything if you haven't played the lowest card. You can play cards on both sides, hoping that whichever side wins, you have the lowest card. You can play a 0, and each person has 2 zeros of each type in their deck. When you play your 0 matters because you're hoping no one else has also played their 0 at that point, because that's a guaranteed win if that side wins. So it's kind of a unique dichotomy here where you want your side to be higher, but your card specifically is lower. And in some of these souls, there's a whole pile of different souls here. Some of them only allow 4 cards per side. That's 4, 6, 8, and 10. Sometimes I've seen up to 10 cards per side, and it's a very interesting battle. But you have to decide, if you put out a small number, you want to win that card, but your side may lose because you put out that small number. Very interesting game. I like it quite a bit. It's very easy. I'd love to see this picked up by a U.S. publisher. I think maybe the theme could use some work. Oh, here we have the Soul of Candy? Oh no, that's the soul of a board game. Looks like Settlers of Catan. Isn't that amazing? Who wants that soul? The angels or the devils? Well, either way, folks, this is an interesting game, and one that I think if you get a chance to play it, which may not be possible, you should check out. But if you can find it, get it. And if you're a United States publisher looking for a cool little card game, I think you should pick this one up.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.